You've been told your whole life that you need to eat less as you get older, that portion control is the key to staying healthy after 60, that smaller plates and lighter meals are what responsible seniors do. But what if I told you that approach might actually be working against you? What if the real problem isn't how much you're eating, but when you're eating it, and whether your food is actually supporting the one thing that keeps you independent? Listen closely, because this information comes directly from nutrition scientists at major research hospitals and from the updated guidelines published by the United States Department of Agriculture. The people who spent decades creating food pyramids and dietary recommendations have completely changed their understanding of what older bodies actually need. And what they've discovered matters deeply for anyone who wants to keep climbing stairs, carrying groceries, and living without fear of falling. I know you felt it, that moment when you stood up from a chair and your legs felt unsteady. The morning you realized your balance isn't what it used to be. Maybe you've started holding the railing more tightly, or you've caught yourself moving slower through the house, being more careful with every step. You're not imagining these changes. They're happening to millions of Americans your age right now, and they're connected to something most doctors never explain clearly enough. But here's what gives me hope, and what should give you hope too. The solution doesn't involve joining a gym or buying special foods you've never heard of. It's about understanding how movement and nutrition work together in your body after 60, and then making small adjustments that feel natural and sustainable. By the time we finish this conversation, you're going to see your daily routine in a completely different way. You're going to understand why certain simple actions matter more than you ever realized. Let me start by explaining something about how your government's nutritional guidance has evolved, because this evolution tells us something important about what scientists have learned about aging bodies. For decades, you probably remember seeing that old food pyramid: bread and pasta at the bottom, fruits and vegetables in the middle, protein near the top. It seemed to make sense at the time, but researchers noticed something troubling. People were following those guidelines and still losing muscle mass as they aged, still becoming weaker, still losing their independence. So nutrition scientists went back and studied what was actually happening inside aging bodies. What they discovered changed everything. The old pyramid was designed for young, active people whose bodies rebuild muscle easily, but after 60, your body's repair processes work differently. You need different proportions, different timing, different combinations of food and movement working together throughout your day. That's why the USDA introduced My Plate. You've probably seen it, a simple plate divided into sections, half the plate filled with fruits and vegetables, 1/4 with protein, 1/4 with grains, and a small circle for dairy on the side. It looks simpler than the pyramid, but the thinking behind it is actually more sophisticated, because it's not just about what you eat. It's about how those foods support your body's ability to move, to balance, to stay strong enough to take care of yourself. Here's what most people don't realize about My Plate when it comes to seniors specifically. That protein quarter isn't just about getting enough calories. It's about giving your muscles the building blocks they need to repair the tiny damage that happens every single day. Every time you walk across a room, climb a step, reach for something on a shelf, your muscle fibers experience microscopic tears. That's completely normal. In younger people, those tears heal quickly and the muscle gets stronger. But after 60, that healing process needs more support. Now, stay with me here, because this is where food and movement start to connect in a way that changes everything. Your muscles don't just need protein sitting in your stomach. They need that protein to arrive while your muscles are actually being used. Think of it like a construction site. You can pile up all the building materials you want, but if there's no construction crew actively working, nothing gets built. Movement is what activates your muscles' construction crew. Food is what gives that crew the materials to work with. This is why the current guidelines for seniors don't talk about exercise programs. They talk about physical activity woven into daily life. The National Institute on Aging, which studies healthy aging across America, emphasizes that older adults need movement that feels natural and sustainable, not workouts that feel like punishment, not routines that require special equipment or gym memberships, just consistent, gentle movement that keeps your muscles actively rebuilding themselves throughout the day.
Let me paint a picture of what this actually looks like. Imagine you wake up in the morning and within an hour of getting out of bed, you eat something with protein. Maybe eggs, maybe Greek yogurt, maybe cottage cheese. Doesn't matter which one. What matters is that you're giving your body amino acids, which are the building blocks of muscle, right when your muscles are starting to move after being still all night. Then, instead of sitting down for the rest of the morning, you do something incredibly simple. You walk to your mailbox. You water a plant. You put dishes away from the dishwasher. These aren't exercises. They're just normal activities. But because you've given your body protein recently, your muscles can actually use that movement to trigger repair and strengthening. The protein you ate becomes the raw material. The movement you're doing becomes the signal that tells your body where to send those materials. Research from universities studying aging populations has shown something remarkable about this combination. Older adults who spread protein intake across the day and paired it with regular light movement, even just household activities, maintained significantly more muscle mass and better balance compared to those who ate the same amount of protein but stayed mostly sedentary. We're talking about measurable differences in strength tests, in walking speed, in the ability to recover balance when stumbling. Now, let me tell you something about vegetables and fruits that connects to this whole system in a way most people miss. That half of your plate that my plate dedicates to produce isn't just about vitamins. It's about reducing inflammation in your muscle tissue. Every time your muscles work, even during gentle activity, they produce inflammatory compounds. That's normal, but chronic inflammation prevents effective muscle repair. It's like trying to fix a house while it's constantly under attack. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale contain compounds that calm inflammation. Berries, especially blueberries and strawberries, have antioxidants that protect muscle cells from damage. Bell peppers provide vitamin C, which your body uses to make collagen, and collagen is what holds your muscle fibers together. When you eat these foods regularly and then move your body gently throughout the day, you're creating an internal environment where muscle can actually rebuild itself instead of slowly breaking down. The grain quarter on my plate serves a specific purpose for seniors that younger people don't need to think about as much. Whole grains provide sustained energy that keeps your blood sugar stable throughout the day. Stable blood sugar means your body doesn't need to break down muscle tissue for emergency fuel. It means you have consistent energy for those gentle movements we talked about: walking to the kitchen, climbing a few stairs, standing up from a chair. These small actions require fuel, and whole grains provide it steadily, without the crashes that come from refined sugars. But here's where timing becomes critical again. Eating a portion of whole grains at lunch, combined with protein and vegetables, gives your body fuel for afternoon activity. Maybe you fold some laundry. Maybe you sweep the floor. Maybe you walk around your yard. These aren't structured exercises, but they're exactly what your body needs: movement that feels normal and natural, supported by nutrition that arrived a couple hours earlier and is now available in your bloodstream. Let me explain something about balance that nobody talks about enough. After 60, falls become one of the greatest threats to independence. Hip fractures, broken wrists, head injuries, these aren't just painful. They're often the beginning of a rapid decline. But balance isn't mysterious. It's a function of muscle strength, especially in your legs and core, combined with coordination that comes from regular practice. The research is absolutely clear on this. Seniors who incorporate simple balance activities into daily routines, things like standing on one foot while brushing teeth or doing gentle heel-to-toe walks down a hallway, maintain significantly better stability compared to those who avoid movement out of fear of falling. But, and this is crucial, those balance improvements only stick if your muscles have the nutritional support to actually strengthen from the practice. This brings us back to that dairy circle on my plate. Milk, yogurt, cheese, these aren't just calcium sources for your bones, though that matters too. They provide a specific type of protein called casein that digests slowly and feeds
feeds your muscles over several hours. Having dairy as part of your afternoon or evening routine means your muscles have building blocks available even when you're resting, even when you're sleeping. Your body's repair processes don't stop at night. In fact, some of the most important muscle rebuilding happens while you sleep. Now, let me share something about circulation that connects all of this together. Your muscles need oxygen to repair themselves. Oxygen arrives through your bloodstream. Movement, even gentle movement, improves circulation and gets more oxygen-rich blood flowing to your muscle tissue. But there's a catch. If you move too intensely, especially if you're not used to it, you can actually create more damage than your body can repair. This is why aggressive exercise programs often backfire for seniors.
What works is consistency at a comfortable level. Think about traditional activities that older generations did naturally: gardening, washing dishes by hand, hanging laundry, walking to visit neighbors. These weren't considered exercise, they were just life, but they kept people moving steadily throughout the day in ways that supported muscle maintenance without creating overwhelming stress. Modern life has removed many of those natural movement opportunities. We have dishwashers and dryers and cars. That's not bad, that's progress, but it means we need to consciously build gentle movement back into our days, not as formal exercise, but as intentional activity. Taking stairs when you can manage them safely, parking a bit farther from store entrances, standing up and stretching during television commercials. These tiny choices add up to significant muscle preservation over weeks and months. Here's something powerful that research has revealed about the combination of proper nutrition and daily movement. Tell me, which city are you watching from? It always inspires me to know where our community of health-focused seniors is tuning in from. Share in the comments below. Studies tracking older adults over several years found that those who followed My Plate guidelines and maintained regular light activity lost muscle mass at less than half the rate of those who ate poorly or remained sedentary. Less than half. That difference determines whether you can keep living independently or whether you need assistance with basic tasks. It determines whether you can play with grandchildren or whether you watch from the sidelines. It determines quality of life. The protein portion especially matters for this muscle preservation. Doctors often recommend that seniors aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein at each main meal. That might sound like a lot, but it's actually quite achievable. 3 ounces of chicken or fish gets you there. A cup of cottage cheese works, 2 eggs plus a glass of milk, a serving of lentils with some yogurt. The key is spreading it across the day, not loading it all into one meal, because your aging muscles can only use so much protein at once. Pairing that protein intake with movement is what makes it effective. Let's say you have a protein-rich breakfast, then within a couple hours you do some light housework or take a short walk. Your muscles receive the signal from movement that they need to rebuild. They receive the materials from your breakfast. The repair happens efficiently. Then you repeat the pattern at lunch, protein followed by activity. Your muscles get another round of support. By evening, you've given your body multiple opportunities to strengthen itself. If you're finding this information helpful and you want to make sure you don't miss future content designed specifically for seniors who want to stay strong and independent, I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe to this channel. Just click that button so these research-backed strategies keep showing up for you. We focus on practical, safe approaches that respect where you are right now while helping you maintain the abilities that matter most. Now, we need to talk about something that might feel uncomfortable, but that matters tremendously: fear. Many seniors become afraid of movement because they're worried about falling or getting hurt. That fear is understandable. It's even rational given the consequences of falls. But that fear, if it leads to avoiding all movement, creates a vicious cycle. Less movement means weaker muscles. Weaker muscles mean higher fall risk. Higher fall risk means more fear. And the cycle continues until independence is lost. Breaking that cycle requires 2 things happening together. First, you need movements that feel genuinely safe. That might mean chair exercises where you're supported. It might mean wall push-ups instead of floor push-ups. It might mean walking with a cane or walker for stability while your muscles rebuild strength. There's no shame in using assistive devices. They're tools that let you stay active safely, and activity is what prevents further decline. Second, you need the nutrition to support muscle rebuilding so that the safe movements you're doing actually make you stronger over time. This is where that consistent protein intake across
across the day becomes non-negotiable. Your muscles can't strengthen from activity if they don't have the amino acids they need to repair. It's like asking a construction crew to build without lumber. Nothing happens no matter how hard they try. Research on fall prevention programs has shown that the most successful approaches combine gentle strength work and balance training with nutritional counseling. The combination is what works. Exercise alone or nutrition alone produces modest results, but together they can genuinely restore functional strength even in people in their 70s and 80s who've been sedentary for years. Let me walk you through what a day built around this understanding might actually look like. You wake up. Before doing anything else, you move your ankles in circles while still in bed. This gets circulation going. Then you sit on the edge of the bed for a moment before standing, letting your blood pressure adjust. You stand up carefully, maybe using the nightstand for support. You've just done your first movement of the day.
You walk to the kitchen, another movement. You prepare breakfast with protein, maybe oatmeal topped with nuts and Greek yogurt. You're getting whole grains and protein together. You sit down and eat slowly, letting your body recognize that food is arriving. Within the next hour, you do some gentle activity, water plants, sort mail, put away clean dishes. Nothing strenuous, just movement that keeps your muscles active while that breakfast protein is being absorbed. Mid-morning, you have a small snack if you're hungry, maybe some cheese and an apple, more protein plus fruit from that My Plate guidance, then more gentle movement. Maybe you walk outside to check the weather. Maybe you do some light stretching while watching television. You're keeping your body engaged without exhausting it. Lunch arrives, another balanced plate, protein, vegetables, a portion of whole grains. You eat it calmly. Then afterward, more light activity, perhaps a short walk around your home or neighborhood if that feels safe. Maybe some chair exercises, maybe just standing and doing some slow arm raises. The activity doesn't have to be intense, it just has to happen. Afternoon is a good time for that dairy portion, yogurt or a glass of milk. This provides slow releasing protein that'll support your muscles for the next several hours. If you rest in the afternoon, that's fine. Rest is important too, but try to stand up and move around at least once every hour. Walk to the bathroom, look out a different window. Movement doesn't have to be continuous, it just needs to be regular. Dinner follows the same pattern. Balanced plate, protein, vegetables, modest portion of grains, then a gentle evening walk or some standing exercises. Nothing that'll leave you exhausted before bed, just enough to signal to your muscles that they're still needed and should maintain their strength. Before bed, maybe a light snack with protein if you're hungry. This gives your body amino acids to use during overnight repair. Then you sleep. And while you sleep, your muscles use everything you gave them during the day: the protein, the vitamins and minerals from produce, the sustained energy from whole grains, the calcium from dairy. All of it gets put to work rebuilding and maintaining the muscle tissue you need to function. Here's what makes this approach so different from traditional diet and exercise programs. This isn't about weight loss or getting fit for appearance. It's about maintaining the physical capability to live your life without dependence on others. It's about being able to get up if you fall, about carrying your own groceries, about getting in and out of cars without help, about staying in your own home instead of needing assisted living. That's what My Plate combined with natural daily movement can preserve. The research shows it clearly. Seniors who eat balanced meals spread across the day and maintain gentle, consistent physical activity keep their independence significantly longer than those who don't. They have fewer falls, less sarcopenia, which is the medical term for age-related muscle loss, better balance, more confidence, higher quality of life. Let me tell you about something else that matters here: social connection. Research has
found that older adults who prepare and eat meals with others, whether family or friends, tend to eat more nutritious food and maintain better eating patterns. They also tend to stay more physically active because social interaction naturally involves movement, walking to visit someone, preparing food together. These activities combine nutrition and movement with emotional well-being. If you live alone and that's created habits of skipping meals or eating poorly, I want you to consider ways to add social elements to your eating. Join a senior center that serves lunch. Invite a friend for weekly tea. Video call family during dinner. The connection itself matters, but it also tends to improve the quality and consistency of your nutrition, which supports your muscles. One more critical piece I need to mention: hydration. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. Many seniors are chronically dehydrated without realizing it. Dehydration impairs muscle function dramatically. It makes you weaker, chokier, more prone to confusion and falls. Drinking enough water throughout the day isn't an option if you want to maintain muscle strength. A good target is about 8 cups of fluid daily from water, herbal tea, milk, or other healthy beverages. Not soda, not heavily sweetened drinks. Those create blood sugar swings that undermine everything we've talked about. Just clean fluids spread across the day. Keep a water bottle visible as a reminder. Drink a glass with each meal and snack. Your muscles desperately need that hydration to function properly.
Now, I want to ask you something directly. Which part of what I've shared feels most relevant to your own situation right now? Are you struggling with balance? With muscle weakness? Are you afraid of falling? Or are you trying to stay ahead of these problems before they become serious? Leave a comment and let me know, because understanding where you are helps me create content that serves you better. What I want you to understand most deeply is this: the loss of strength and independence that happens to so many older Americans isn't inevitable. It's not just part of aging that you have to accept. Yes, aging itself happens. We can't stop that. But the rate at which you lose muscle, the degree to which you become weaker and less stable, these things are heavily influenced by choices you can control. Eating balanced meals based on My Plate guidelines is a choice. Including protein at every meal is a choice. Drinking enough water is a choice. Moving gently throughout your day instead of staying seated for hours is a choice. These aren't difficult choices. They're not expensive choices. They're simple, sustainable actions that accumulate into powerful effects over time. Think about where you want to be a year from now. Do you want to feel stronger than you do today? More confident in your balance? Less worried about falling? More capable in your daily activities? That future is available to you. It requires consistent attention to nutrition and movement, but it doesn't require dramatic changes or unsustainable efforts. Start with one thing. Maybe it's adding more protein to breakfast. Maybe it's taking a short walk each afternoon. Maybe it's doing chair exercises while watching your favorite show. Pick something that feels doable and commit to it for 2 weeks. Pay attention to how your body responds. You might notice tasks feeling slightly easier. You might feel a bit more stable on your feet. Those small changes are evidence that your muscles are responding. Then add another small change, perhaps spreading protein across all your meals instead of just one. Perhaps adding some gentle stretching to your daily routine. Each small adjustment supports your muscles a bit more. Over weeks and months, these small supports add up to significant strength preservation or even strength gains. Your body wants to maintain its muscle. Your muscles want to stay strong, but they need your help. They need the right fuel at the right times. They need regular signals through gentle movement that they're still necessary and should maintain their capabilities. When you provide both of those things consistently, your body responds. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your muscles can still adapt and strengthen. This is about respecting your body's current needs while giving it the best possible chance to stay strong. It's about
about understanding that the guidelines have evolved because scientists understand aging bodies better now. My plate isn't just a pretty picture. It's a framework based on research about what portions and combinations actually support healthy aging. The movement recommendations aren't about becoming an athlete. They're about maintaining the minimum strength and balance you need to take care of yourself, to stay in your own home, to avoid the cascade of health problems that begin with falls and immobility, to preserve your dignity and independence as long as possible. I know this might feel overwhelming if you're starting from a place of significant weakness, or if you've been inactive for a long time. But remember, you don't have to fix everything at once. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. A little more protein, a little more movement, a little more attention to what your body actually needs. And if you found this conversation valuable, please take a moment right now to click on one of the videos showing on your screen. We have more content specifically designed to help you maintain your strength, your balance, and your independence through research-backed nutrition and safe movement strategies. Everything we create is focused on what actually works for real seniors dealing with real challenges. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your strength matters, your independence matters, and you deserve to know that there are practical, accessible ways to support your body as it ages. These strategies won't reverse decades overnight, but they can genuinely change your trajectory. They can help you stay stronger, more capable, and more confident than you would be otherwise. Take one idea today and try it. Give your body the support it needs. Notice what changes and keep learning about what works. You have more control over your aging process than you've been led to believe. Use it.